Yeah, 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 yeah. Whoa. Yo, can you hear me? Hello, yo, but can you hear me? Tell me like, ooh, yes, sir. Let's get it on. Here we in the place like, it's so weird because whenever I listen to this back, it always plays me being off beat, which gives me indication that there's probably some sort of delay. You know what I'm saying? Something like that going on. But it don't matter because I know I'm on beat. And y'all, the beat, you wrong. The beat is wrong today. That's just how it is. What's going on, everybody? You know what it is. It is time to talk this blurred stuff. Yes, it's your boy, the real Vince Taylor, live and direct. Reporting from the Spider-Man cave, and we gonna go ahead and get it in. Tell a friend you already know what it is. Let's do these dividends. And yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. There's a lot to discuss this morning, a lot to discuss today. So thank y'all so much. If you're pulling up on the YouTubes, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Twitches, those that are listening on Spotify, whether this is the live or the replay, what's popping? What's up, Dara? I see you. It's me and you today. Yes, I'm talking to y'all. Yes, you laughing, Larry. Everybody in the comments say what's happening. I am here to discuss the fact that there is an Afrodemic going on right now. If you're unfamiliar yet, Drake is out here doing his best impression of Lady of Rage from I don't know, man. This is a whole thing. We're gonna talk about it not too much, but I ain't gonna lie, this is giving me heavy Thugnificent vibes. So we will have to discuss this as well. It's been a minute, so let's talk about some of the things that have happened since we've been here. Yes, for those of y'all who are Star Wars fans, guess what? Yes, Ahsoka drops next week. Pop, pop, pop. And if you watched any of the animated series, you already know what's up. What's up, Biddle? I see you in the comments, man. There's a game out right now called Baldur's Gate. Do you play Baldur's Gate? Because if you do, let's talk. Because I really don't know what this game is all about. Like, legit, I'm so off the loop. But I'd love to know more about it. Also, Static Shock, maybe finally getting that live action. And let's get messy, y'all. Remember when Keke didn't love he because she was all up on Usher's joint in the concert and she left him. But you a mom though. Yeah, well, evidently she is an independent woman, can do whatever the fuck she wants. And that includes making videos with Usher, so let's rap on about that. There's talks about Bob Iger, like cutting, trimming the fat, as they say. So that's something we'll talk about. And which show should go on that block, and which one should he consider not taking off of that block? I'm about to let's discuss. Blue Beetle's out, but we ain't gonna talk about it. The Riverfront, Montgomery, Alabama annual picnic will be scheduled today so that we can all make sure we are in attendance for the Riverfront reunion, August 5th, 2024, and every year thereafter. And we're gonna talk about some of the stuff that didn't get talked about in that wonderful brawl. Also, other things in the news. My man Pee Wee is no longer with us. Oh man, that sucks. And if you're a reader, guess what? Wolverine and the Predator are going head to head in an upcoming issue. So y'all make sure y'all check it out. For the Marvel fans, y'all go ahead and do what you do. I am your boy. It's me, the real Vince Taylor, reporting live from the Spider-Man cave. Hopefully some of our friends join us as well. But for right now, man, let's go ahead and kick this thing off. This is the new Blurred Order.
I love the new Blurred Order. You should too.
Whoa.
Let me get all this 10p Wayne. All the niggas rapping about the same old thing. I've been coming through with the same old gang. Ain't shit changed except mine got a name. Got it out the mud, but we got no stains. Cold ass ninja with a gold ass chain. The girl call me daddy, not my government name. Money on my mind, got the bands on my brain. Let me tell y'all about a nigga I know. The nigga stay clean, so he always got hoes. Light skinny bitches like.
I love the new Blurred Order. You should too.
It is amazing how I always forget to unloop that, man. It is nuts. But anyway, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the real Vince Taylor, reporting live, man. We got a lot of stuff to discuss today, man, and our members are scattered about. Oh, I see somebody in the background. What's going on? So today we are joined for the time being by your boy, the real Vince Taylor. Shout out, what's going on? And we also have in the house one house of Star Child. What's going on, Tiffy? Tiffy's in the building. Oh my God, I love what this is. I haven't seen you in a minute, and the style it's giving everything. It's giving everything.
Thank you. Is it just us today, Vince?
It is us today. Yeah, it was just me. For I was about to do the. I was like, look, bro.
Because I have shit to say to you. First of all, I am like the way. No.
Okay, I'm here for it. I'm here. Look, I will never turn down the opportunity to get a Tiffy read on your boy because they're fucking immaculate. You know what I'm saying? And it's I wear it as a badge of honor. But it is really good to see you, man. It's feel like it's been a while. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, because last week, the folks, my friends from New York, were here in town, and I was finishing out the Cyclone show that you saw. So I wasn't here last week. So it's just been about 2 weeks, and
yeah, man. It's been
like
well, listen. And your life is exciting, if I may say so. You know, I mean, just from a bird's eye view, you know what I'm saying, with all of the productions and all of the acting and it's crazy, right? Like, how is that going, by the way?
Thank you. And I did have to like kind of check myself because all of these productions have come with drama, like the exact sort of drama that was the reason that I stopped doing shows in San Diego. Like years ago, I stopped doing theater because of drama, not theater related. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these shows have brought back with it the exact same thing. So I've been kind of in that mindset. But no, therapy is great because it's also taught me to look at the positive. And my life is pretty crazy and exciting. So I receive that.
That's good, man. I'm sorry to hear that. But I mean, if I ain't mistaken, and I don't want to drill on you on this, but the world of entertainment is stressful already. You know what I'm saying? And then you add like the drama of theater and all that on top of it. I'm sure that can't be easy, man. So, and then you got
not easy, no.
And then you got this dumbass shit that we do, like tossed as a sprinkle on life, on top of. I mean, I kid. I'm self-deprecating, but this silly little thing.
I don't like when you do that. I don't like when you do that because I like this. There's a reason why I wake up at 5:30 in order to be ready by 7. And I know I'm still late, but again, I wake up at 5:30. This is the fastest I can get here. But I enjoy doing this. This is fun for me. And the other stuff is fun too. But don't ever think that I'm sacrificing something to be here when this is what I genuinely enjoy. So,
oh my God, yo, that means a lot. That really does mean a lot, man. Well, I appreciate you joining this morning. It definitely takes some relief off of me. I ain't gonna lie, because there's some things that I did want to talk about, and if I can keep it 100, some of the stuff that we witnessed last week, I feel like we didn't really get a chance to really tackle it. So there may be some visiting some social media hypes from a little prior. But before we get into that, I was just curious because this popped on my timeline yesterday, and this wasn't even on the docket for this week. But I couldn't help but notice that your boy got a whole new dude right now. Yo, as soon as I saw it, the first thing I thought was Drake-nificense. It automatically went into my head, and I immediately went. I literally went to the editing board and composed a video, put it out there for the universe. Carl Jones shared it, and I was just like, "Yo, what's going on?" Now, from my perspective, Tiffy, I feel like Drake is doing what he does best. I feel like he understands the internet. He knows how to get attention. He's trolling, but maybe this is just the new style and we're behind on game. What say you?
If we're behind and that's the new style, I don't ever wish to catch up. So there's that. Also, I had seen and also, yeah, Lisa, I can't take him seriously. I also can't take him seriously. But for me, I saw the picture floating around. I did not even think Thugnificent until your video, which that's very impressive that you got that out that quickly, by the way. And congratulations on Carl Jones reposting it. But I was also very upset with you because I was like, because you know how I feel about Thugnificent. So why would you convince that it didn't even link in my head until you did that? I was just like,
yo, Tiffy, I'm so, it's so funny because the way I feel like when I envision Tiffy's schedule, there are no blank spots. You know what I'm saying? And so like I spend the majority of my time thinking, how can I not inconvenience Tiffy? You know what I'm saying? Like those few times where I text her, I'm like, oh, do I have to? All right.
Really?
And then I brace for the call. I'm a problem. I've got some severe psychological issues that I laugh through, but yes, that is one of them indeed. But
Vince, no one cares. We all do, nigga.
so, it's
I'm
the
not
truth.
saying they're not valid. I'm saying we all do. And
It's
hit
true.
me up for the things. I was gonna hit you up actually about New York Comic Con. Well, I don't know.
Right.
I'll
We don't
say
have to
this.
air it out.
We can talk off stream. But the Hellfire Homecoming, that was just a hashtag that we did online, which was just fun because I couldn't attend the gala. I would love to bring that to New York Comic Con as an after party. So
Okay.
yes, let's talk about how New World Order could possibly be part of that, because yeah, that's happening. So
Okay, now I gotta get the drip right.
you absolutely have to get the drip right. And at the end of the day, it's a party. So like, we just want people to show up and have fun. But I'm a dress up, so I don't want to be dressed up alone.
Exactly. Like I can't print tee it out for the you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a print tee. A lot of nerds are print tee. You know, we wear them like gang symbols. You know what I'm saying?
You know
like,
what? It's very true. It's very true. And I respect a strong t-shirt game. I myself am not a t-shirt girl. There are a few in my collection that I like, and they are specifically the nerd ones. So I respect the nerd t-shirt game.
Yeah, well, it's not good for the Met Gala. So we'll have to make sure. But
that's why it's the Hellfire Homecoming, because it's a little nigga-ish.
Now you talk about language, man. Now you talk about language. And speaking of which, like I really am interested, just to pick it back, because first of all, breaking news. The answer is yes. We'll make it happen. I already got an outfit in. I'm gonna do a cosplay. Oh my, yo, wait a minute. Is this the cosplay gala that I've been dreaming of? Is this the fortune teller? Is the tarot card finally coming to life? It was manifested. Like I've been obsessing over putting together a cosplay gala of sorts, and I felt like I hadn't had the venue or the opportunity or the space to make these type of things happen.
Well, I think that we should chit chat after the podcast.
Oh yes, I do believe we shall. Okay, cool. Oh shit. Okay, you just gave me more. Oh, all right. You just gave me life. All right, cool. So my life power just went up a little bit, and we also
what I do.
And we still haven't even talked about the fact that, by the way, we will be, just as an announcement, we will be live at Comic-Con this year in New York, and we're going to be doing some live podcasting. So this whole us on the square thing, yes, it's still going to be a thing, but we add in levels, because there's levels to the shit, bitch. And I meant bitch in not like a derogatory way. Yeah, it's like
bitch.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly.
Intelligent, talented, charming, honest. All
of that. So Drake is out here doing his best. I don't want to talk too much, because there's really not much to say about it, honestly. There's not nothing to say about it. I just thought that it was a cool header because it's brand new. So sometimes I like to start off things with fresh things. There's a couple other subjects that I'll probably wait on. But while we're here, since we didn't get a chance to talk because Tiffy's so busy, I was really looking forward to speaking with us last week, because a monumentous occasion took place that we were not able to speak on at length. I'm talking about history was made in our faces, on our Instagrams, in our stories on the internet. And we were all front row seats with our phones. And it happened and didn't stop happening throughout the week. Of course, I am talking about the Rumble in the Riverfront of Montgomery. This was something that I was not anticipating. It didn't see it on my bingo card for 2023, and now I feel like I can actually die happy, having known that the ancestors can literally be manifested on at any moment. Tiffy, this is crazy. For those of you who have not seen it, here is an actual video of exactly what happened on the. Wait a minute. Did I put it up here? All right. You know what? Y'all lucky. I didn't. Dang, man. Shoot. Y'all so lucky I didn't put the actual thing up here that I wanted to put up here. But it is. Here's something that we did see. There it is. So as you see, he throws up his thing in the air, and then
Yeah.
this is when the hat signal went up. All right, and with the hat signal, all black folks come, even from out of the water. Yes, we summoned Black Woman,
Aquaman.
or Aquaman, or whatever it is. Like, yeah, all right. Yeah, obviously this is spoofy, but I mean, yo, this is what happened over the internet. This is how black people like process trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like, we go directly to the memes, we go directly to the internets. It's a thing to witness, Tiffy. I ain't gonna lie, like, it was hard to watch the people, try to beat up on my people. I wish I could have jumped through the screen. But when I saw my man jump in the water and just swim over there, I knew it was gonna be all right. I knew it was gonna be all right, Tiffy. I knew it was gonna be all right.
Yeah, for me, okay, so I be trying to not engage in toxic things online. I'm not always successful. So when I saw the fight initially, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna keep scrolling. I'm trying not to watch fight footage.
Dang.
But it kept coming back around, and like this one was different. And when I finally like clued in on what was happening and people were starting to make the commentary, it just got crazier and crazier. This is and I don't condone violence. I really don't. Right. But I don't blame what happened here. We know what was going to happen is the thing. Like, we've seen this play out so many times, and I don't know if there's necessarily been an increase in violence, particularly against Black people, or if we have access to record it more and to share it more. Like, I don't know which it is, but maybe both are true. But 100%, white people thought that they could get away with beating and probably killing a Black man because they can in this day and age. They can. Literally. If they have jobs of prominence, maybe they get released from their jobs, but they also get millions of dollars and GoFundMes from other races that they're somehow justified. People's lives have improved from publicly killing Black people, and it does not surprise me one bit that those white people thought that they can get away with it in that moment. So we know where this was going. So for anybody to say that the response was too strong, everything down to the motherfucking chair, I don't give a fuck if that woman was sitting there doing nothing. By association, the bitch was guilty. The fact that she wadded her ass into the fight meant that she did not have good intentions. If she wasn't going to pull her fucking husband off of someone because he was dead fucking wrong, hit her with another chair. Hit her with the table. Push her in the water. I hope that she can't fucking swim. I hope my ancestors pull her to the fucking undertow. Like, that's how I honestly feel about that shit, because there was one way that it was going to end.
Yeah.
Because it was that way before. This was something different. This was something a little spicy, and I like that. So,
Tiffy, you spoke so much. I mean, let's think this is historically accurate, especially for Montgomery, Alabama. It is not beside us that is a pier or a dock where they used to exchange slaves. It is not beside us that hours before this took place, that they did a celebration for the ancestors that had been sold on that dock. It is not beside us that places like Rosewood and places like Black Wall Street over in Greenville, Texas, did not actually have their retribution, because they always get shit on and have to move out of their cities. There's a place not too far from where I live called Ocoee, where this dude, man, his name is escaping me right now, but I'll remember it by the end of it. But this guy stood up to the Klan by going to votes. That's literally all he did. He went to go vote, and they came to shoot up his house, accidentally shot one of their own, and it caused a white flight. Let's not even go down the Emmett Tills, the Trayvons. Come on, there is a whole theme here. So the thing that I thought that was hilarious, I don't even want to say hilarious, but the thing that I thought was fascinating was after they went and commenced to stomp this man who was doing his job, like literally doing his job. And all he said was, yo, can y'all move y'all shit? You're parked in the handicap and we're trying to park. You know what I'm saying?
How do you respond to this violently when you're in the fucking wrong?
Exactly. And publicly, and then gang up on people. And so then when retribution like actually starts coming in, when the reinforcements begin piling up, and it starts to become a fair fight. Now I'm guessing there's probably calls of, oh, why does everything have to be good violence? Oh, how come you
Right.
gotta
Why are
have
you putting race into it?
like, listen, they was probably under the assumption, that they did not have anybody backing them up. That this young man was not going to have anybody come to his
They thought he
rescue,
was
so to
alone.
speak. All right. Number two, the outward audacity and gall to whoop a man and to proceed to sit right by him in your boat while the police it's a security. This ain't just some dude. This is a dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shows.
Wait,
that
who's
not only is
security? The guy that he wasn't security. No, he was a co-captain.
he was, oh shit,
And
he was
that was just some misinformation that got spread. But in fairness, he looks like security. The uniform is a little casual, but he's the co-captain. But I don't blame people for that. Is just something that was just misspread. But it doesn't matter. He was a person of authority, and they felt that they did not need to respect or honor that. And they felt that an appropriate response was violence. So it doesn't matter who he was.
Exactly. I ain't gonna lie,
but
it makes it. I'm sorry, Siffy. I didn't mean to speak on you.
You're fine.
Okay. It's not only that he, this was a black man. I would say even it makes our, what's it called? What's the dude? The Blaguda Amandata. I don't know what it is, but there's this black gene, you know what I'm saying, that we have in the back of our head that's like, hold on, wait a minute. It's like my black senses, you know what I'm saying? And it goes off when you see it. But even if it wasn't a black man, I would say that this is some asshole shit. It just makes them even more emboldened, in my opinion, when they saw that he was a black man by himself and trying to exert authority over what they believe probably was a superior. Now, they can sit there and talk all this shit afterwards, but all that's hearsay. Now, the one guy that I think that I really wanted to hop on and just give some props to is the man that I would like to call the chairman of the Riverfront. This dude came through, and I don't know how many chairs I'm going to see this Halloween as costumes and cosplay. But the dude, now I want to walk through this real quick. There he is in the back right now. Now he don't got no hands. I mean, he don't got nothing in his hand and nothing like that. He's just in the back chilling. We just monitor what's going on. But I want to watch. I want to see this. Now he picks up the chair. Now you see he went and got the chair. Now. Oh, see,
after the whip.
And then the lady, when the lady came over, she had just got stopped. She's like,
what? Stay your ass down. Stay your ass down. And again, I see that she was sitting there before that. And she was because she was getting spicy with two black women before that. I understand in that moment. But again, any person, you were on one of two sides of that. At that point, free my uncle because she had no good intentions. I'm so sorry. I made a video in which the villain PR character said, why would she step into the fight if she wasn't prepared to get fought? If I see my man going down, I'm stepping back and taking notes. Someone has to tell the story later. That person's gonna be me. Why did she step into the fight? It wasn't for her. It wasn't her blessing. Turns out she can't fight. Like, that's her fault. Am I victim blaming? Yes.
Yes. I don't see no victim here. This motherfucker knew what the fuck was going on.
She knew what she knew. I do not feel bad for her. Had her or she, I'm sorry, words are escaping me, and her party gotten that way, a black man would have died that day. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
That's right. It's Lisa Scott. Comment of the day. Let me start this one. She's 0 versus 0-1. That's what I'm talking about, man. Yo, so here's the real question, Tiffy. Are you available August 5th, 2024 for the Riverfront reunion that is already being played? We are already building the sage. We're already lighting the crystal. We are already charging up all of our chi, so to speak. Tell me you're going to be there for the Riverfront reunion, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, here's the thing. I myself will not be setting foot in Alabama at any point in my life. But spiritually and virtually, I could be anywhere. So virtually, sure, is there a Zoom thing going down?
I'll send you a link
on the internet. I do that all the time for any regular day. I can do that for that day.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. There was so much stuff that happened on the internet. Like I said, I already played this video, but this one was one of my faves. I also saw my man Barry put one where he was holding a chair by like Malcolm X by the door. There was so many, and the internet just, I mean, one of the comments, and I'm sure you got a lot of these comments on your video as well, but the comments that I loved from this particular incident were, I love us. You know, people kept saying, like, black people was like, oh, we so creative. I love us.
Yeah.
Oh, we so funny. It was such a unifying moment because it was a rare occasion where black folks instinctively stuck together, you know?
Oh yeah, I did get some coons, some uncle homicides.
Yes.
That why are we joking about it? Because it's funny, nigga. Like,
Put your ass up a boat chair, bitch. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
It's very funny. It is objectively hilarious, as a matter of fact.
Literally, like, I mean, yo, it's just the looks on their faces when these dudes came off the boat ready, no shirt. When you see niggas come to you with no shirts, skipping, Tippy, not
pulling up the shorts.
the shirt. Did you see how they pulled up their shorts in unison? In unison.
Oh, yeah, and yep, there.
No, I'm here for it. I'm here for it, man. I just like you, Tiffy. I don't like to watch fights. You know, I'm one of these few people like on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. If you share fights a lot, I block you, or like I'll find a way to mute you because I just don't want to. I'm just not into seeing fights online like that. You know, there's so much more positivity that as black people we could share about each other. You know, like Romani Wilfred, and you know the who's like one of the smartest kids is at 11. He beat Albert Einstein's IQ score, and a lot of the stuff that's going on right now with Simone Biles. There's just a lot of positivity, and I feel like when we share only the ratchetry, we don't give that balance. So I don't. But this was something different. This was unity.
This very different. Oh my gosh, yeah. This was a collective. We're not given the opportunity. First of all, y'all. What is the quote? Is it? I forgot who said it, but it was like, I don't know. It was something along the lines of white people should be grateful that black people aren't seeking revenge. And I forget the quote, but it's very famous. Yeah. But it's true. They don't want to go toe to toe. They don't. They can't. So I get very. I don't know if you can tell, but I get very passionate about it. Like,
as you should.
I just like to talk about movies and comic books. And
yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I don't want to get the listen. Well, this happened, and I was happy that I can't wait till I get to say where I was when I first saw what happened with it's kind of 9/11-ish, you know, no disrespect.
No, to the my mind went there too. My mind went there too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So look out for that, man. And also one more time for my man who actually did swim up to the riverfront. We're calling him Aquaman right now. But this young man is I think he's 20, excuse me, he's 16 years old. All right, 16. He goes by Luxurious Steel on Instagram. And his family has been like just so gracious because you know they're out there like, yo, look, man, we appreciate y'all, you know what I'm saying, for giving our little man some hope. My thing is, does he just go to school the next day and like does his life change? You know, like is he actually required to finish class after, you know, like saving the world?
You know what it reminds me of, and this is kind of, and it's a little bit of a downer, my bad, but remember the guy that was like going crazy in the mom, and the son came back with a gun and shot the man and ended up killing him?
Oh yeah.
Remember that? He had to go to like graduation the next day and walk across the stage, and he was like, his face is just like, because he's a bright kid, and I think he graduated with like, because he had done well in school, but the way that life just had to go. So I think that, and that's a very negative thing, obviously, but I feel like life just goes on. You do this amazing thing in the news, you have cameras around you for a while, but then like life just kind of goes on.
I don't know, but all right, but we as a people, man, come on, let's keep it real. You think like ladies start going into his DMs like, "Hey, Aquaman, you know what I'm saying? I see you in there with the water." It's all wet.
Also teenagers, since that's a child.
Oh, damn. All right,
He's
you're right.
16.
Yeah, that's a
So
teenager.
I hope that all the ladies are staying far away from his DMs.
Well, I was speaking about high school kids his age, just for the record. I hope it's not
absolutely.
like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they're calling him the jokes to his face. He's rolling his eyes while in person. So
stop, girl.
Right.
Girl, you know I'll come see you. However, rain, water.
Actually, but for me, it means a lot. One, given the history of our people with water and pools, and because I grew up a swimmer. I swam competitively. I lifeguarded for the city of San Diego for 5 years. I'm a swimming person.
Whoa!
I feel like every week it's like you learn another piece about my life.
We got to come back to that, but please finish. I'm sorry.
Yes, yeah, but we just learn a lot, especially because in the areas I worked in were underprivileged communities, and they don't have access to pools just because they don't have the money in those communities. And we understand historically how Black people were treated and barred from using public pools, or had bleach and chlorine and things like that thrown on them. So and so I know, being living evidence of that stereotype and just breaking that generational curse of Black people in water and swimming. So I have always had that mindset, but to see so publicly a young man tearing across the water, beautiful fucking form, like getting across that water, having the strength. Do you know how hard it is? I was a competitive swimmer, my nigga. How hard it is to get yourself up out the water and just go, just start swinging to have that energy. Fully clothed is insane. So to see it is just personally, like, it's so
Yo, man, it is crazy.
It's beautiful to see. Like, that to me personally is just like, yes. And we swim, and you thought you were safe in the water. You put too many of us in the water for you to ever be safe in the water. The fuck?
Yeah. Fuck you and your little anti-Little Mermaid tropes. Goddamn it! Look, now you know that shit is real. We are joined also by Stephanie Ray, the word nerd in the building. Steph, I'm so glad you pulled up because we talking about Black people in water. Did you know, Stephanie, that Tiffy was a lifeguard? You know what I'm saying? And like, has evidently some extensive experience in the waters, of which she is now able to share with our young man. Did you know about this, Steph? I'm sorry.
I did not, but it makes sense because lifeguards are hot. Tiffy is hot. It all connects. It all connects.
Thank you. I was the only lifeguard in the city of San Diego that had to wear a full-on bra underneath because again, I told y'all I've had a breast reduction, so they were out of control. But I would have my red swimsuit on and like the full bra underneath, and so my tan lines in the summer were so gnarly in the back because it was like the crisscross and the.
Have y'all ever seen this movie called? Thanks, Marley. My man Marley. Give it up. My man Marley's up there, a comedian, still doing this thing up in ATL. Man, gonna come check out pretty soon.
Thanks, Marley. No, I know Marley and me, but
nah, my man Marley, man, he used to stay here around where I stayed. We used to do a lot of comedy shows together. But you know, I think it was with me and him. We did our show with Michael Blackson. I think he put me on with him the first time. But good to see you, man. I hope you stick around even more and share the content and give a call every now and then. You know what I'm saying? But Tiffy, it's funny because have you all seen, Tiffy and Steph, this movie called The Sandlot? Have you ever seen The Sandlot? Where the great Gambino and all that. There was this young lady named Wendy Peppercorn, and one of the kids jumped into the pool just so that he could get CPR. I'm wondering if that happened to Tiffy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she's,
No, yes, but with younger kids, like, because I lifeguarded from age 15 to 20, and sometimes the kids in the neighborhood just like kind of being rapscallions. They would try things, but you can tell when someone's not in distress. And you're just like, you're looking at him fake not breathe, and you're just like, stop, breathe, and like that. So.
Yo, you got to give him some credit, man. You got to be real bold to try to meet death just so you can get a kiss from somebody you admire. That's pretty bold. Stephanie, you would never do anything like that, right?
No.
You never seen a hot lifeguard? You're like,
Weird.
Having trouble breathing.
You know what? One time I was walking down a flight of stairs in LA or in Hollywood, and my ankle just collapsed. It was the weakest ankle moment of my life. But there was this fine man in the lobby. But when I tell you, I went down so silently. I promise you, my ankle collapsed. I happened to be at the bottom of the stairs, so I just went down very princess-like. I was so proud of myself, and I made no noise. But he turned around, and I'm on the ground. And I promise you, to this day, I think this man thinks I planted myself there to get his attention, and it's just like, oh no, because I made no noise, and I made no noise when I hit the ground either. So I know he thinks I planted myself. So no, there's someone out there that is convinced, and now he's on a podcast telling the opposite side of the story.
But what happened? Was it a meet cute moment? Did he pick you up and carry you?
He did ask if I was okay, but nah, my ankle was really injured. I went to the Hollywood Bowl last night and ended up in shock.
Oh snap! Yeah, well, I mean, dang man,
nothing happened with that man.
It sounds like we missed like a Lifetime movie that was in development. You know what I'm saying? That very well could have been the beginning of our own series.
well, one of my ex-boyfriends from a long time ago. That is our very. I don't know if it was a date. He came. I was doing an event someplace, and he came out to support. And this was when we were first talking. And your girl is clumsy. I was walking behind him going down the stairs, and my ankle gave out.
The same foot?
I don't think so. I think I'm literally just clumsy. And this time I fell, but he turned around and he literally caught me. And that was the beginning of our relationship. So sweet, right? Ended up being super toxic, and we don't like him. But in that moment, before the red flags, green flag for sure.
Wow, man.
It's always the toxic ones that are like that have kind of the best moments. Like the last no, I don't need to go into this.
Let's go there.
Oh, we can't go to the Steph Chronicles, man. What's up, man? Steph, now is the time.
It's not relevant now, but the last man who picked me up in the air was also one of the worst people I've ever known. But because of that moment, I dated him for like a year. Across multiple states, like
that, and it gets you sometimes. And then here's the thing: at the San Diego County Fair, every year they have this vendor, and it's the moon on the night you were born. And so my birthday and his birthday completed it to make a full moon. So between that and the catching me when I fell down the stairs, I thought that we were meant to be. It made it very hard to end that relationship when it needed to end.
Yeah.
Oh man, dang. Do you think that there's something? I don't know, man. I'm going down a rabbit hole here, man. Last question about this whole subject, Steph. Do you think that there's something about those moments when you're in these relationships with these toxic men that make you blind to their potential toxicity, because that moment sticks in your head as the pinnacle? So you keep trying to say, listen, I know even though this dude is being this asshole, there's this guy in there that rescued me somewhere deep buried beneath all this toxic shit. Is that what it is? Is there some truth there? I know nerds, we coming back. Don't go, don't leave. We coming back. But nerds have love too.
We talked about Drake's hair, and that had nothing to do with nerdetry. We can talk about this. Yeah. We talk about non-nerd things when it's your idea, Vince. You don't do all these disclaimers, so stop it.
I tried to do the Drake-nificense. I tried to make it like, you see what I tried to do? I tried to like
look at my face. Look at my face and how much I care.
All right, I'm calling out. But Steph, any truth to that? Does that make any sense?
1,000%. This man was a trash human being, but he'd do something like not return my calls for 2 days and then pop back up like, "Hey, what you doing?" And I'm like, "This is terrible," but he can pick me up in the air. I met a really nice man. I'm not a small lady. Like, that's a big deal. So I made a lot of excuses before I decided that, like, honesty and consistency, being picked up. Maybe I didn't have my priorities straight.
But being picked up, that's a big deal.
Right.
You're not wrong. Like, you weren't wrong for that. Vince, you old green bean. Why are you looking confused?
I mean, because all right, listen, I may not be what I was in college, but I mean, I can still pick a motherfucker up. Like, if that's all it takes, you know what I'm saying, to get your attention.
It's not that it's all that it takes, but we're bigger women. We're thickums. So
I mean, that's not. I mean, you know, that's
So it's not that it's not that it's all it takes. It's just sometimes in her case, like when you were given something rare.
True.
And he made it seem easy. Like it was no like lift from the knees, like grunt. It was just like
that's what I was about to say.
It was like scoop, and I'm in the air, like the fuck.
Yeah.
What is happening? I don't even see. I need to not think about it. Don't contact me. Don't contact me if you're watching this.
Need the lady to pick him up.
This man.
Yeah. Where the real ladies at? Like to pick a nigga up right quick, put a nigga down. You know what I'm saying? Like a motherfucker just fling me over her shoulders and walk me off to my car in the sunset. Like, what's up with the real ladies out there? Let me stop. I'm just playing. But you're right, Tiffy, excuse me, and Steph. Like, if I picked you up and it's like, I got you. You're kind of like, all right, you know, I get it. But if a motherfucker's like, yo, come on, let's go. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh my God, like it wasn't even nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here.
Right.
That's why y'all love superheroes so much. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Did we just figure something out? Mm-hmm. Did we just have a breakthrough in the therapy sesh? Yep, I think we did. The Luke Cages of the world. Yep. The Aquaman. Mm-hmm.
They messed up by having Luke Cage be played by the same actor that was the guy in Girls Trip, because I don't like the way that he was cheating on his wife.
Oh, wait a minute.
And no, I cannot separate it in my head. No, I can't.
Well, that's your right. You're supposed to, man. But yeah, superheroes are a thing. So, ladies, I would not be upset if you did become enamored, especially with ones that are real life superheroes. Steph, we didn't get a chance to ask you about your feelings before we kind of get into some other tea that's going on out there. We didn't ever get a chance to hear what you thought about the actual Riverfront brawl, which we have live footage of the exact brawl right here for those who have not seen it. Now, we have already, Steph, discussed some of the historical significance. You know what I'm saying? How this, as opposed to what happened to Emmett, as opposed to what happened to Trayvon, as opposed to what happened to Ahmaud Arbery, as opposed to what happened to Sandra Bland, Eric Garner, we can go down the whole list. This is an instance in which, no, violence would not become what the end of the story was, at least from a defensive, at least from, a negative aspect on our end. I'm just curious of what was going through your head when you saw these events take place, and how great did it make your day? Did it make it as great as mine? I don't know. It was a thing to see.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see Black folks come together in defense of us. For me, it was bittersweet just to watch again the audacity of white people in broad daylight, unapologetically beating on a Black man and thinking that it's going to be just fine. So while I love the response, I'm also deeply disturbed by the continued open aggression that white folks show on a regular basis, because they're not used to having consequences. Like, how fucking bold and empowered in nonsense do you need to be to do some shit like that just because you're mad? I cannot imagine physically attacking someone just because they pissed me off. I would fully expect to go to jail for that. So the fact that there are a lot of white folks who know they can do shit like that and not have consequences is just a reminder I didn't need. But I'm glad it ended the way that it did.
Well, I mean, as much as I completely empathize and understand that, because you're right. The first thing, just like Tiffy said earlier, we're first met with trauma. Like Tiffy and I shared this whole lack of violence on our timeline sentiment. So when you first see it, you're like, all right, I don't know what this is. I don't see it. But then when you hear about the retribution, does it make up for the apathy that you kind of feel when you first kind of realize? I mean, because what starts happening to me is I start thinking, oh, is this the new wave? Will we now start to see more phone videos with a different ending as opposed to always letting these folks just get away with whatever it is?
I hope so. Every time I think America's getting their shit together, we get an Obama and then we get a Trump. So, America continues to disappoint me. I don't get my hopes up anymore.
Yeah, I will agree, and I don't want to go into this rabbit hole, but me personally, I think it's got to get torn down and built all the way back up. I also think that there are other areas on Earth that will facilitate Black life and plentifully and welcome us. I'm looking at you, Kenya. I'm looking at you, Ghana. But I digress. Something else happened that was interesting this week, and actually, you put me onto it. I think it just happened not too long ago. But your girl, Octavia Spencer, is being heralded right now, if I'm not mistaken. And what exactly is it that she did, Steph? What does she do?
I love Octavia Spencer right now for being that petty friend that says the shit that needs to be said, that nobody wants to hear in the moment, but that needs to be declared. And then plays it off like, oh no, girl, I was just joking. But you know she meant that shit. And then she turns out to be right. So Britney Spears has been married to this man, Sam Asghari, for about a year, I believe. And when she announced her engagement, things were good. They were in love. Everything was happy. Octavia Spencer wrote on the Instagram post in the comments something like, girl, make sure he signs a prenup. Yes, make him sign a prenup. And so this was about a year ago when they first got engaged, and people were understandably like, oh, like how you'll say that, they just got together, like don't yuck her yum, kind of reacting like she had sort of rained on their parade. And so Octavia Spencer actually issued an apology and was saying like, I was just joking, like, I'm a comedian, I'm just a jokester, I was just being silly, I apologize for any negativity, let's show Britney and her fiance some love, like I didn't mean it like that. But a year later, this man is divorcing her, and rumors are saying that he's trying to get the prenup adjusted and potentially threatening to release embarrassing information about her. So everybody's like, oh, should have listened to Octavia. Like she is that friend who meets a boyfriend and is like, ooh, he seems sketchy, girl, make sure you check his phone. She's like, well, he's like, girl, I'm just playing, I'm kidding. And then when that man cheats 3 months later, everybody's like, not to say she told you, but she told you, she did tell you. So she
and didn't she tweet again under that? She was like, extortion is illegal.
Yep.
So she wasn't playing the first time.
Yep.
Yo, well, why do men do? I don't. I am a man. I'm sorry, but why? What power do you get out of threatening people with personal information? Like this, like
money.
On this show, we're familiar with that. One of our cast members had a direct threat from somebody, threatening to release information if they were to do things on our show, believe it or not, which was a whole issue we had to work through. So I don't understand why this is a strategy, Tiffy. Why do men? Why am I asking y'all? Because I'm sure you probably don't know either.
No,
but
we do.
It's dumb,
Power,
fellas.
control.
Yeah, it's about power and control. And
Control.
money is also a motivating factor, but a lot of it is about control.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Britney's already got enough shit that she's going through. So for this dude to, and the fact that he's trolling, you know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to do that thing where, yeah, I know, yeah, but I don't know. But me personally, I've loved Octavia since the moment she grazed the screen in the original Spider-Man. For those of y'all who did not know, she actually was there and told Tobey Maguire, yeah, this isn't for the minor leagues, chump. Next. And then he's like, no, I'm here to fight in the ring. And I was like, yo, I don't know who that lady is, but she's going places. And yes, she went directly to the comment section and tried to help you out, Brittany. And evidently it worked out, man. That's a little crazy. Is anything else come from that, Steph?
I was going to say, not to steal your segue moment, we don't have to get into it now, but speaking of breakups that have reverberating consequences, did we talk about the new Usher video, Boyfriend, featuring Keke Palmer? Delicious.
Funny that you should bring that up, because we know we have not talked about it, but guess what's on the docket? Yes, indeed, we was going to. Now, let's try to bring this into a nerd spectrum if I can. So for those of y'all who've been watching, you recognize that Keke and Usher, they already had this whole little incident a few weeks back where Keke got up and she had on what some would consider an outfit that was revealing. But your mom evidently is a problem. And she saw Usher on her birthday as a grown woman, as she should. And she geeked out as somebody who does music. And for whatever reason, that made her man at the time feel like he once again had to lash out and exert some power. Right? This is another instance. Well, this is the theme today. Men exerting power in a positive or negative manner. So he says, "Oh, but you're a mom." Blah, 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 all this other stuff. And she's like unbothered. And then what happens? Weeks later, we now have a video in which Keke herself is starring alongside Mr. Usher, and they're kind of playing off that whole thing. What do you think about this? Well, let me read this first. Here's what she said about it. So Keke says, Usher, I remember when I was 12 and auditioned for In the Mix. You've been killing it all in my life. As a true lover of the art, your talent and craftsmanship are rare combination that I aspire to achieve as a performer. You are a living legend who is worthy of awe. Thank you for encouraging me and seeing me as the entertainer I am. I know I'm a girl, but when I watched your videos, I never wanted to be the girl in them. I wanted to be you. Thank you for making a dream come true. What you think about it, Steph?
I have so many thoughts. So first of all, I think that this message is beautifully written because I feel like it really puts to rest any rumors of like, oh, they're sleeping together, they're messing around, it's a sex thing. Like, and if it was, that'd be totally fine. But the tone of this message is, first off, I remember when I auditioned for this thing when I was 12. She's highlighting the fact that we are not like, you are a mentor. We are not the same age. I've admired you as a performer since I was a child. I didn't want to be the girl. I didn't want to be the love interest. I wanted to be you. I admire you for your talent and what you do. And that is our connection here. So people trying to make it a, oh, me and you flirting, me trying to cheat on my man with you. No, I admire you as a fellow artist and always have, and I look up to you in that way. So I think this was a very thoughtfully written message. But beyond that, I will absolutely acknowledge, I don't think that her man was wrong for feeling jealous and even upset for watching, his girl and Usher have a flirty moment. I'd have been in my feelings about it too. But he was dead wrong for making the conversation public. She absolutely can wear whatever she wants. He made the conversation about her outfit instead of making it about the fact that she and Usher were clearly having a very public flirt moment. What I would have done, I would have tweeted something. I would have retweeted it and, put something like, all right, like playful, but let it be know how I felt. Like, all right, like watch yourself, Usher. That's my girl. Like smile emoji, something like, let it be known like this is me. And when Keke got home, I'd let her know like, hey, I'm glad you had a great time, but like, just so you know, it didn't feel good for me to watch that. Like, I'm in love with you. I don't want to watch this man flirting and singing in your face. We would have needed to have a conversation. And I also, again, I'm not in their relationship. I don't know what's going on at home. But I can say personally, when I've been in situations like that, when things are good, when I'm happy at home, I'm far less likely to end up flirting with the Usher Raymond. I don't know if you saw Issa Rae when he came to her with the same thing, and she did a little hand wave, was like, okay, all right, thank you, Usher. Like, Issa is recently married. She did not get that close to the man. She put the Heisman on him a little bit. So part of me wonders, were things already rocky that maybe Keke was feeling like, hey, it's nice to be out. It's nice to feel sexy. It's kind of nice to have Usher singing in my face because maybe Darius has not been giving me the attention that he should. Like, how did we get to this place? I don't know.
I feel that fuck nigga behavior does not simply manifest in one day. So he was already acting up. I do not wish to speculate on their relationship, but based on the evidence and what I personally know in my extensive research on fuck nigga, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that there was a fuck nigga that was fuck nigga.
Tiffy became somewhere in the beginning of the sentence. She went from California to Mississippi in the accent. It was hilarious, but yeah, I think that it's also possible. Now, I obviously, my perspective is my experience isn't the same as you ladies. But I do think that it's sometimes possible to be both things at once. Is it possible that maybe she was out there having a good time with with her friends and whatnot, and stuff was also going bad at home? And as a result, she did have a lack of respect because she's like, I don't really, shit, if some shit pop off, because let's keep in mind, like, I don't think that she expected for the relationship to go where it was. This was assumedly an unplanned pregnancy that she ended up having, right?
Whoa. I'm gonna push back on that. I'm gonna push.
Okay.
Let's never assume anybody's pregnancy is unplanned unless they come out and say this is a surprise baby. We don't know. That very well could have
like
been.
I said,
yeah.
I was assuming, like I said, I don't know for sure, but only mentioning the assuming part because of the fact that I feel that it was highly visible that she was attempting to not release that information. There was months and months in which it was speculated and she didn't want to come out with it. Now that could be her own business and it's none of mine. So let me shut up.
Pregnancy is a health condition that can shift at any moment. I was married with a very planned pregnancy and nobody knew till I was like 9 months because I did not want to post a bunch of pregnancy stuff and then God forbid things don't go the way that I hoped and prayed.
That's a good point.
And now everybody's like, didn't you have a baby? What happened to being pregnant? And I got to tell a bunch of people that part of my business. So as a woman, there are excellent reasons to not tell anyone about your pregnancy until you're very far along. Because I've had friends in that position where they announced a 4-week pregnancy and then things didn't go the way they hoped. And they had to tell everybody that they experienced a miscarriage. And that's not always information that you want to share with the world.
Definitely tough. I'm not. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Tiffy.
No, please.
No, please.
No, because it was taking the conversation somewhere else, and so sorry.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say I would never claim to know what's going on behind the scenes. So I will say this: if it wasn't planned is irrelevant. What I feel is that there were possibly, well, look, let me not speculate about their personal life. Let me just say this: if indeed the act had been committed in they were doing well in their relationship, then it might have been handled different perhaps. But it sounds like when he exerted his strength, it was is indicative of the fuck nigga that he was. If that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, you was a fuck nigga in private, but now you a fuck nigga in public. One of the things that most women say in my experience is, listen, I know men in general are gonna do fuck shit. And in a relationship, there's probably gonna be some issues, but my God, nigga, if you embarrass me, you know what I'm saying? If you put me out, if you do all this bullshit, and on top of that, I'm embarrassed publicly, then that just makes it way more worse. I mean, am I wrong on that? Or
absolutely. But this does tie into what I was gonna say earlier. I personally feel like this whole she was being disrespectful from the top of it, I don't agree with that. I do not think that what she did, her dancing was with Usher. I think it was tasteful. She was not up on him. And especially with the added context of her seeing him as a mentor and not as a sexual object or a potential love interest. I think that it was a cute little dance because it was a clearly a romantic type song. So there's no escaping that. But dancing cutely, her outfit was her outfit. She did not wear it with the intention of rubbing up on Usher. That moment was unplanned. So for me, from jump, she was not disrespectful in that. But yeah, for him to take it to a new level and try to publicly shame her because his pride was affected, that to me is where we're like, oh no. Because even if she did, let's say that she did do something, she was acting out and being disrespectful. This man was talking traditional values and things like that. Why are you following your woman's lead and doing this public tit for tat thing instead of addressing it at home? So like that to me is just, it's never added up. Her being disrespectful, his response being in any way acceptable, like those are things that aren't true from the way that I'm viewing it.
Yeah. And I'll say I can understand him being upset though. I'm a jealous partner, and if that was my man in Sierra, I would have had feelings. I'd have had feelings. I'd have been something like, yeah, he looks great in his outfit. He looks even better out of it. Can't wait to see you at home, babe. Like, remind the world, that's me. You having fun with Sierra? That's me.
That's the way I would have handled it. That's when, and I think that we might have touched on, but that's when you send, if you don't tweet something, baby, come home so I can do what was it, what Usher wanted to, or whatever. Like, say something that's gonna make me go, I'm sorry, y'all, I can't go for drinks afterwards. Daddy wants me at home. Like, you were supposed to play the energy that way, not jealous for the world. You're being weird. You were supposed to be a little bit smoother than that. And that's what got me. I understand feeling jealousy with your partner. I get it. Handle it a little smoother is all I'm saying.
Nah, I mean, fuck the little smoother. Like, that was whack. Like, it was complete. It was a complete play. And people like me who overanalyze things, when I saw that, I already felt like I saw the conversation when they got home. I felt like I already knew what he was going to say. And if that's what he's leading with, like, it's the outfit, though. You a mom? I don't see the two being mutually exclusive. Like, what is the outfit and being a mom? If anything, the fact that she's a mom and can fit that outfit and makes it look so dope is what you should be talking about. Like, let me correct your sentence. Yo, peep the outfit and she's a mom. That's what the tweet should have been. But your dumb ass is out there showing your insecurity on full display, and women don't like to be with men that are look, you can be insecure. All right, but you don't want to be perceived as having zero confidence.
Or fix it, or don't take it out on me. Everyone has insecurity, so I'll give you a safe space to be insecure as a man. Don't take that when your insecurity becomes my issue. Then we have a problem, and we don't like hypocrites, because before he was posting close-ups of her ass, watching it jiggle, talking about look at what my son did. So when you're in, again, back to control, when you're in control of the situation, when you're in control of the narrative and how her body is viewed, it's not an issue. When she has control over how her body is viewed and what she does with it, suddenly it's an issue. Shut the fuck up.
The feelings were valid. The approach was absolutely wrong. He let hurt become anger. He turned it into slut shaming her instead of saying, hey, babe, I'm in love with you. You're the mother of my son. It was really hard to watch you flirt with Usher. Like, that was hurtful to me. Have the courage as a man to be vulnerable and honest about how you're feeling instead of turning it into, you are disrespectful. You got your booty cheeks out. Like, no, my guy, that's not the problem. That's not how you feel. You're hurt because you think she's enjoying Usher's attention right now. And you probably could have gotten the reassurance that you were looking for, because Keke seems like a loving, gracious person, if you had approached her the right way. Yeah. Her next post probably would have been sitting up in your lap talking about, I love my man. It was great to see Usher, but it's even better to come home to the father of my son who lights up my world. Because she's posted shit like that before. I am willing to bet money she would have been very willing to publicly reassure him and his place in her relationship if he had come at her correctly.
Yo, I personally think that this was a key lesson in what not to do, number one. But it's also a key lesson in, do you know who you fucking with? Because
that part.
Sometimes men forget, they get real comfortable, right? You know, because, you know, I'm gonna say this is probably one of the crudest things I'll say, but my man Solo, who will join us in New York, my boy, like we go back like things on crack. When he was going through his divorce a while back, and these things are public, so I'm not outing him. He was like, one thing I learned is that as a man, you think that because you get your girl to go ooh wee, that you think you got shit on lock, but she just find another nigga to make her go ooh wee louder. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, as silly as a thing that is to say, men need to hear that sometimes, because what you keep between your legs is not a superpower. In fact, all men have them, and some of them are better than yours. And so sometimes I think that some men get complacent in what happens behind closed doors, that they think they run shit. But yo, there's a whole other layer, my man. And I think that what he tried to do was bring bedroom energy to Twitter, and it did not go well for him. And I know there's other better examples. Like, you've seen Russell Wilson not too long ago is still bigging up his girl despite the fact that she's in this video with Chris Brown. Now, some people have some criticisms, legitimate, of her, giving Chris Brown a platform. But you don't see Russell Williams going, but you a mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's completely confident. He's like, yo, that's my girl. I know she's coming home. I ain't got to worry about this thing.
Over the years, and he has been extremely supportive. Yep.
Yeah.
But I do want to say though, you saying that he brought bedroom energy to that wouldn't fly even in the bedroom. The booty cat would dry up like the Sahara Desert. It would be the Grand Canyon of vaginas.
God damn. All right. Well, let's move right along from Arizona.
White hot room where 250,000 Krakoans are currently wandering, awaiting some form of resurrection.
They jumping back into Calican. Yo, it's crazy, man. All right. Well, look.
The Phoenix. Okay.
Not the Phoenix. Oh man, damn. Man. Well, let me also do this real quick while I'm segueing. Let me send a shout out to Omar, all right, who's hopefully traveling safely and enjoying life. Shout out to everybody else who's normally on the panel. Yes, Nolly popped up in here for a second, but I know she's working right now, so there's a whole other thing. Kev, Tyrone, everybody who's ever messed with us, everybody who jumps on, appreciate y'all. Even when you're not here, you're still here in spirit. What's going on, Steph?
I gotta respond to a comment. You might put it up on the screen. Somebody just said Russell a square though.
I saw it.
So many feelings. Russell's he's a okay. Well, if being a square is being a successful professional athlete who takes amazing care of your beautiful wife, then like give me a square. Then most women want squares. Then if you are not a square, good luck, sir, because that's what we're all looking for. If that's a square, please give me all of them. Give me the squares, the rectangles, cubes. Give me
Mm-hmm. I want angles. I want corners.
Because we love it. 90 degrees.
Dodecahedrons. I like those a lot.
Tetrahedron.
Dodecahedron. Yeah.
Stars. Stars. I can be a square. I'm square. You know what I'm saying? I feel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wasn't trying to say that to get on the auction block, but yeah, man. Watch out.
Please don't ever say the auction block again, Vince.
Now I was thinking about when I did the fundraiser. Okay, see, all right, my bad. All right, I'm fucking up. My bad reference, especially after this momentous week of which we had celebrated such an historical ass whooping by our ancestor spirits. But yeah, homeboy, I don't know what your definition of square is. If square means that he talks articulate, if it means that he maybe got good grades and dresses nice, maybe pays his bills on time, more than likely with auto pay, probably gives his woman some space.
Doesn't even notice when it comes out the account.
Then I guess you can put us all in that rectangle, homeboy, because I think that the time of which folks were glorifying the bottom dwellers, and I don't mean those who struggle. Now, there's a difference between a dude who's thugging it out because this is one of his only options to feed his family, and somebody who's 44 still trying to put out his mixtape and still slinging dimes because he can't necessarily get himself off the couch to go fill out applications, even though everything is online now. So there are big differences, man. And ultimately, here's what I've noticed in my time on Earth. The square that even though I was able to balance it with athletics in high school, the square that I was, because I was a band geek, because I still wore Spider-Man shirts, even when I was 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade, the square that I get to see some of the people that we looked up to. Quick story, and I promise this. I mean, since we vibe and we talk, we look in each other's eyes, we therapeuting each other. My best friend in the whole world, like my best friend, like just before, I mean, like from childhood, Chris, he came to visit me this last week. He came to my comedy shows up at the corner with Bonkers Comedy Club. Minnie was there. All right, shout out to Minnie if you're still in the comments. Oh my bad, Minnie wasn't there. It was the other day. It was the day. No, Minnie was there. I can't remember. But yo, he pulled up with 4 of like the most popular women from my high school that would never give either of us any kind of. Now, I'm not saying that we weren't worthy or whatever, but we just figured they were quote unquote out of our league. But it was so dope to see him pull up with him, man, because it just showed like if you just run your race, full circle will take care of itself. You know what I'm saying? Like these are women that would have walked past us, they did walk past us on a daily basis, that now crowded him because he's this big, muscular, freaking PhD, freaking rap funny. I think some of us know him. So I'm just happy to see things like that happen full circle. So yeah, everybody doesn't think like the late 90s rappers from Death Row that just want to sling and shoot up folks. Squares mean longevity. and more than likely financial security.
I will say he did say, or they, I don't know who the person is, but they did say they're playing, so that's good.
Okay.
I
All right.
Well, they're always playing. They're always playing.
You're right.
They're always playing.
Oh, you know I didn't play. I didn't know you was gonna respond.
They're playing like Keke Usher was playing when she made
Listen, I like John Mayer. I have room for squares. Always. Okay.
Come through with the yo. Real quick, you brought up something just now with that. That made me think about the fact. One of the things that I like about my wife is we don't have these ears that only hear certain kind of music. Like she'll go on a whole 80s spree, you know what I'm saying? Every now and then, amidst our love for the Beyoncés and the and the 21s and the Drakes, like we'll throw on some, Wonderwall. You might hear some Oasis, you might come in my house and you may hear Celine Dion. You know what I'm saying? It might happen. And I'm not ashamed of it. I used to be. I mean, no, I'm gonna say which song, but yeah, you might hear it.
No.
Yep.
Say which song.
I can't say it now.
Yes, you can. You
I mean,
have to.
All right. Well, I mean, I liked Titanic, you know what I'm saying? And I thought that song was pretty iconic, you know what I'm saying? And even on a day where it's a nice cool breeze outside and the clouds on a blue sky day, it's nice to, roll up some medicine and go out back and just near, far, wherever you are, I believe that the heart must go on. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I play that shit in my hood, slowed down, with it chopped up, based on 24. Bitch, I ain't playing. I don't give a fuck about what y'all think about me. Anyway, sorry. Thanks for letting me get that out of my system.
See, don't you feel better?
I do. More to come. And speaking of more to come, couple announcements real quick. For those of y'all who are tuning in, thank y'all so much. Once again, I just want to remind you that we love when you watch, but also when you share. So make sure y'all hit that share, like, and make sure you comment. If you are a lurker, that's cool, but don't be afraid. We do respond, but make sure you act right. Hallelujah. And hit that share button. Couple announcements real quick. In the upcoming weeks, we have some special guests. So next week, make sure you all tune in to join us live when we speak with none other than Mustafa Secure. He is going to be our guest. You may remember him from Luke Cage. Some of y'all may have saw him in Cowboy Bebop, but he's got an album out right now, so we definitely want to talk about that. And also a few others that are coming, which we'll wait to announce, but really happy to announce that. And also look for some of our clips on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, of some of the interviews that we've done in the past. Now, I do want to take a moment and lose y'all, and I hope I don't lose y'all, but I want to share, since we're sharing. Yo, hold on. Ash is right. Ash, they love Celine Dion in Jamaica. That is a real thing. They remix all of the songs and they put the reggae beat. Ash, I fucks with you. That's Kev's girl. What's going on? So real quick, I would like to walk y'all down this lane. Follow me. Just bear with me on this, okay? So you guys, I'm assuming, are familiar with a man named Lawrence Fishburne, right? Lawrence Fishburne is known, still here to this day, classic, walking, living legend. But one of his most notorious roles was when he played this character called Morpheus in The Matrix. All right? Morpheus in The Matrix changed things for me because this made me see a black man in a futuristic setting with martial arts and smarts, which I thought was dope as fuck. The leader of Zion, the Matrix he didn't control it, but he knew it was up. But that's not all he did. He also was in the Man of Steel, all right, as a Jimmy, not Jimmy. Oh my freaking the manager. Y'all know his name is. I forget his name, man. But the whatever the freaking the guy of Daily Planet. I don't. Nobody cares. But he also was Ike in What's Love Got to Do with It, starring opposite Angela Bassett, who is honestly one of the best actors on the face of this earth, not just to mention a black actor. But I say all that to say, that we might not have ever got to see any of these roles, if I'm being honest. Because Lawrence Fishburne, had he not gotten his start on a little show called Pee-wee's Playhouse, we might not have ever gotten any Morpheus or any Ike or the guy from Daily Planet. So I'm actually going to give Mr. Paul Rubin, who unfortunately passed recently, some credit for putting some of the people that we know on screen, because I think that Pee-wee was an instrumental player back in the day. Now, I don't know, you guys. I didn't have a chance to gauge your love or hatred for Paul Rubin, but I will say for myself that Pee-wee's Playhouse was played every Saturday in my household. I was a huge not only Pee-wee Playhouse fan, but I also loved the movies that he came out with. Mr. Pee-wee Big Adventure, where he had to find his bike. There's no basement in the Alamo. Oh, it's like one of my favorite things. And he also was in a movie called Big Top Pee-wee, where he kind of like did some circusy stuff. So I'm really curious, like Tiffy, did you have any experience with Pee-wee growing up? Was he played on your TVs, or is it just me?
Oh no, he definitely was. But real quick, Vince, did you take us all the way down around the block with Lawrence Fishburne to bring us up through to across the freeway back around to Pee-wee when you could have just gone straight to Pee-wee? Why do you do these things, Vince? Vince, that was so unnecessary. You could have just been like, "Hey, let's talk about Pee-wee."
It was a long road. In my head, I was like, I have to justify bringing this up on the New Blurred Order. Why are we talking about Pee-wee? And I was like, well, maybe if I make it so that he was instrumental in Black people's lives, I was like, it'll make sense. But I mean, it was a long detour, the scenic route.
I mean, it's cool information. It's cool to see Lawrence Fishburne in the sparkly cowboy getup, but my God, wow. Anyway, to answer your question, yes, we watched it. I don't think that I was necessarily a big fan of the show, but I had a lot of cousins, and we would spend a lot of time at like my grandma's house or whoever's house we were at, and someone liked Pee-wee's Playhouse a lot because it was on. So I wasn't necessarily that attached to it, but I do remember seeing it a lot growing up. So yeah, like fun, happy show. I remember like the furniture talking and just like the different crazy fun times. So I don't have an emotional attachment. I don't know anything about him personally, like, so I don't know if he was weird. I hope he wasn't. I hope sometimes you learn about your childhood heroes and you're like, I wish I knew less about you.
Yeah, he made some headlines. Stephanie, go ahead, please.
I was a huge Pee-wee Herman fan, actually. Pee-wee's Big Adventure was one of my favorite movies as a kid. Okay. I was a big fan of the show. I've always liked weird stuff. Like there was a talking couch. Who doesn't love a sofa chair, whatever. The shit was weird and I loved it. I was here for it. But he was, now the first thing, like, I don't really care that much. Indecent exposure in a movie theater, like, okay, we all either know somebody or are somebody who's done something inappropriate in a movie theater, like whatevs. But he was also like caught up in some charges for inappropriate images of children, and that
this guy. Why are we talking about him on the show then?
Yeah, I can't fuss with that.
The child thing is not
so that removes any desire for me to acknowledge him for other contributions. That cancels out anything else.
That's it for me.
So moving on, Static Shock. It's gonna be well. In closing, I'll say, you refreshed my memory because I remember I was like, what's the thing that happened with Pee-wee? I was like,
I had to Google it
or doing something erotic. I was like, okay, that's what it was. But then you brought up and I remember I think there was something about somebody else that got charged.
So
And
I actually, I was like, I know he did some weird stuff that made me uncomfortable, and I kind of removed myself from the fandom. But I knew like the movie theater thing. I was like, but I feel like there was something else, but I didn't really know the details, and I just looked it up and read it. So he had inappropriate images of children that he was like, oh no, I'm not a creep. It's art. That's not an excuse.
All right. Okay, yeah.
Right.
What a wicked turn we've taken. Damn, Pee-wee. Man, fuck, man. You know how many slides I put up here for your stupid ass movies now? And your ass done took up all of my time.
See,
I
that's
spent
just
all
that's
that
one of those
segue
moments
energy.
of like, man, I wish I didn't know. Like, why couldn't you just be cool, man? Why
So
couldn't
yeah, honestly, I was ready to kind of push back on the movie theater shit. I was like, all right, listen, man, he was in a movie theater. It was a porn movie, and he did porn shit in a movie. He shouldn't have done it, but he's a man, and it's not excusable. But damn, I've seen people do a lot worse to other people as opposed to himself.
Let's change the subject.
Yeah, but yeah, so Static Shock is it's going to be kidding. Evidently, we had some word from the man who actually voiced Static Shock, Phil Lamar, which he gave us a quick rendition in his Instagram saying that Static Shock may be finally hitting theaters. Now, ladies, I know specifically Steph, you are not a DC fan. DC is the enemy. I get it. And I will not ever try to bring you to the dark side because I'm not a DC fan either. However, if there's one thing DC did right, it is co-opting the work of Milestone so that we can have a lot of specifically black stories and black characters such as Static Shock, such as Icon, such as, you know, a lot of folks that a lot of comic book characters that don't get a lot of mention. So let me ask you this, Steph, as a certified non-member of a DC fan club, would a Static Shock give you any room to look at DC maybe a tiny bit different if they brought up a really good production, maybe Black Panther-esque, not Wakanda, but within a DC spectrum? If they put together a good product, would you ever consider being a little easier, going a little easier on
I mean,
DC?
I support black art and blackness across all venues and mediums. I do enjoy, was it Black Lightning? I thought was good.
Yes.
And I'm a big fan of Phil Lamar. I have a selfie with him. That's what I'm looking for in my phone right now. But he is a well-known foundational tenet of the Black improv community, trailblazer.
Yes.
Huge fan of his work. So I will absolutely pay money to support what he's doing for whoever.
Okay. All right, cool. Tiffy, I know you're not huge DC fan, not an anti-fan, but not a huge DC fan.
Sometimes they have good, you know, I'm entertained by a couple of their movies.
Okay. What you think about the potential for a Static Shock on screen? I mean, it hasn't been announced if it's a movie or a show. We don't know, but is it exciting to you, or what would you? Send it to me, Steph. Send it to me so I can post it. Send it to me.
Okay. I am unaffected. Oh, well, you know, anytime that we're able to bring Black heroes and things like that to the screen, I'm all for it. So I think that's pretty neat. I across the board, I would like movies to be made well. And with DC, It is so hit or miss. I think with the MCU, it can be hit or miss, but it's way more hits than misses just with the majority of their projects. I've had the opposite experience with DC where it's like the majority of their stuff is like, and a couple of them I'm like, ooh, you know? So I would like them to make better movies in general, but especially when it's a Black character, I'm like, oh, please don't fuck this up. So whatever they do, I've heard really good things about DC animation though. So I do want to get into those movies and how they're just supposed to be like really, really, really good. So I just want it to be good no matter what it is. And I probably watch because I remember liking Static Shock, the cartoon, as a kid. So I would watch.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm honest with y'all, I think that this is why I can't stand DC. This is what hurt this, because why take so long? Like, why take so long to put out Static Shock? Like, the folks have been clamoring for this, but instead they want to keep recycling the same. Now, I know if Frankie was here, she would go off on me and tell me how, you know, Cyborg and all, and she's right to an extent. But come on, goddamn. Like, this is not nothing new. Like, kids were watching Static Shock, like, you know, when they were like 12, 13, 14, and these are now like 30, 40-year-olds. And they've been waiting for this type of content. The fact that it has to be so, you know, like danced around. You know what I'm saying? The fact that I saw this information on Phil Lamar's IG instead of like on DC's main page, that are not like, there's something about it that just gives me DC's like, these are side characters. And that's what annoys me about DC. Flash, now let's look at the other side of that. On Marvel side, and I know we're not talking about all the work, but on Marvel side, they just had like 2 movies that went insanely well that were made. Excuse me, not 2 movies. I'm talking about Across the Spider-Verse. Sorry, fuck. All right, sorry. Some of the Spider-Verse movies, and black character leads the movie. Movie does extremely well. Not even live action. Does this indicate anything to you? Like, what the fuck? And so it's bittersweet, like Steph said earlier about the brawl. It's like, I'm excited, but I'm also like immediately angry at the fact that we're still talking about this potential when it should have been. They just DC just dropped the movie yesterday. Okay, they just dropped a movie which we all, for anticipated purposes, expect to flop. This movie will more than likely flop, but it was one of their first times exploring, you know, a culture in the movie sense that wasn't just a white person. All right, and it's not already going well. I feel like if they give these characters the respect that they give their Superman and their Batman and their even Wonder Woman and even Aquaman, now that we got our own Aquaman, I feel like they would do a lot better for the culture. And I don't think DC has that interest instinctively. I digress. But I want to ask my homeboy about it. Yo, wait a minute. No way. Is that what I think it is? All right, speaking of we're gonna go ahead and bring in the man of the hour himself. Welcome in. He's a tiny bit behind schedule, but always on time. What's up, Bad Drake? What's going on, bro?
What's going on, y'all? I figured I'd pull up on the new Blurred Order and shit. I heard a lot about y'all over here, man.
What's up, Thug-nificent? You all right, man? It's Ty-nificent, man. You good, bro? It's good to see you, fam.
Yeah, man. Just had to, a early morning appointment with my hair salon stylist. I had to, you know what I'm saying, come in and, she was like, I this trending hairstyle, I think it'll fit you. And I was like, all right, let's see what you're working with.
With the space buns.
Space buns. Pull up, Princess Leia. Hey. I see you, homeboy.
Hey, but what's going on, y'all, man? I was watching the show behind the scenes, man. I'm loving the conversation. Yeah,
nice. Well, if you've been paying attention, man, you came in right on time because I know that you tend to subscribe to some DC projects, and we were just talking about the fact that Phil Lamar dropped that there's some serious talks about Static Shock finally getting his live action debut. My question is, too little, too late? Are we ready? What is your expectations, if anything? And are you excited, my man Ty, about the potential for a Static Shock being live? Now, I know we've talked about this before, but now that it seems to be more prevalent, what do you think?
Well, I kind of share the same sentiment as Tiffy. Like it's so many misses to the point where now it's just like I'm not even gonna bother to get excited for something that'll probably flop. I still haven't seen anything from DC that leads me to believe that at some point they're going to get it together. I still haven't seen anything. If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm not too excited about the Blue Beetle movie. When I saw the previews, it reminded me of a Power Rangers joint. It just looked. It didn't look like it was going to be anything. So I'm let's hope. But I know I'm starting to feel like I know better. And so when it comes to Static Shock, I just don't know that DC is willing to invest in these projects like they should. Static Shock is a huge character within the DC universe and could potentially be something very, very big, like a Miles Morales for the MCU. But again, I do not as much as James Gunn has had success with Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm still yet to see a project that you've had success with in the DC universe. And until I see that, I'm gonna sit back and have my cup of tea and just watch as it all implodes.
Fair enough. I with you have reserved optimism, I think is what I'd like to call it. Like, I'm not going to get geeked about it till I see that trailer. I'm not going to get geeked until I see who's selected for cast. I'm not going to get geeked until I see what the storyline that they project. From the Milestone comics, I believe there's a big bang that takes place, and which happens at a Black Lives Matter rally, one of Static Shock's origin stories. So if they start going way far from like the actual urban origin that I believe he's warranted, then we're talking about watering down the story, whitewashing it, and doing whatever it takes for financial gain, as opposed to doing it for the culture. I really want to see whoever it is that did. I don't know if I can say this or not. I think I can. I can say it. Yeah, because it's not even out right now. It's not even on, so it's not even being promoted. It's not even the series. The place that it came on doesn't even exist anymore. But the Regina King's Watchmen version. If there's anything, whoever it is that directed that, if we can have some folks give that level of quality to the scripting and with the casting, then I'm excited. But if we get like,
I don't know about that one, Vinny, because
really,
as much as I liked The Watchmen, as much as I thought it was a wonderful show, I think that some projects should have representation around the board, and I don't think Watchmen necessarily the directors represented us as people of color. I think they were, Caucasian writers. And I'm not saying that you're not able to write good stuff. I'm just saying when you have a project like a Static Shock, which would be the first Black project that DC has, I think you show the same level of detail that a Blue Beetle gets, where you go into the directing and you try to find, you do the same thing. Like this project is a milestone project. It was initially written by Black writers, and I think it should be directed by a black director and given that opportunity to shine within DC, as Marvel did with Black Panther, and having a Black director involved in that creative process. If you want to have executive writers or executive producers that are white, that come into the project to help, absolutely. I have no problem with that, but I think it should be spearheaded and led by a Black director.
Right. Hey, good point. You're right, because old boy that did do all of that, I think he was, of Black melanin. Dwayne McDuffie, if I'm not mistaken. He passed. He's no longer with us. But I mean, the people around him that kind of helped bring up Milestone, I think that if they would stick with them and let them kind of have creative control, I think we should be in good shape. You know what I'm saying? So let's hope that goes well. I have a confession on a different subject that this is probably going to go nowhere, but I put it up here, so I'm going to bring it up. But this goes out to Nolly, who I believe is working right now. But Nolly has been talking to us in the chat about this thing called Baldur's Gate. All right. Is anybody here familiar by chance with Baldur's Gate? Just nobody. All right, so I'm not alone. All right, cool. This is why I wanted Nolly to be here. So Baldur's Gate evidently is an RPG. Now for the gamers in the comments, don't get too upset. I've never really been a huge RPG person. I like to see the action. I don't want to read it. I'm sorry. I know that
wasn't a Final Fantasy fan. What? Stop.
Look, I could watch people play Final Fantasy, but I could not play it myself. And that shit was long. Like, talk about damn. Like, Final Fantasy, even on regular PlayStation, would take like months. You know what I'm saying? To get anywhere. You know what I mean?
You remember?
I'm with you.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. I'm with you because like it's very stressful. The numbers, and you have to add the things and build your kid. No, I just want to press the buttons and make things happen. Don't make me think that much. I'm playing video games right now.
Thank you. I don't want to mix the poison and the potions and I just want to hit people. You know what I'm saying? I just want to punch somebody.
I don't even like that element of Ghost of Tsushima where you have to do mine for me, please. I just want to swing the sword. But
all right, yeah, that's true. Ghost of Tsushima definitely has, and man, we're gonna talk about your those tweets about Ghost of Tsushima freaking playing a Disney princess with all the little animals and shit. That's a whole subject. But Ty, what was you about to say, homeboy? Like you Final Fantasy, that's your jam, huh?
Yeah, I was a huge RPG fan growing up. Yeah, Final Fantasy was my jam, and I remember back when PlayStation didn't have a save, like you couldn't save, like it was like you had to just keep. Matter of fact, it wasn't PlayStation. It was Super Nintendo. I think I want to say it was like Super Nintendo. You had to, if you didn't have a memory card, you couldn't save,
right? Yeah,
or whatever. Yeah, something like that. So I remember having to leave the system on all night and all day because you didn't want to lose that save point. But I think that my biggest memories from RPG was, I think it was my first real experience as a young kid with like borderline nudity and sex on a video game. Not like, I'm just saying, like, yeah, because the RPG games, like they were so detailed and so like graphically, like just amazing, that the storylines would lead you at some point to like you would have a love interest or a couple of love interests, and you would go over here and meet up. Like one game in particular, and I know whoever's an RPG fan out there, Skyrim. Skyrim, Skyrim. You had multiple girlfriends all over the kingdoms. You would go here and have a relationship. When you say something sweet to her, she'd be like, "Oh, you're so sweet. I like you." And you were like, "Oh, okay. Well, what else do I say?" It would have different things that you could say that would trigger different animations and stuff like that. So, you keep progressing as you get further. You get to the games like the game that you love, which is The Witcher. When you're full on and God of War, where you're now having sex. You're having real sex.
And it powers you up. It powers you up.
You gotta turn the knob.
You gotta interact. Yo, that would be the bed. The bed would rock. The bed would rock.
And they're like, and I'm like, not you shaming me. If I could, no, we will sit on this stream and fuck these two women and
they're naked in the bed. Yo, Steph. All right, Steph. I don't think Steph has played God of War, so we get to teach Steph about it before we lose her.
They have you go off. It's very optional. You don't have to, but before you start certain levels, if you go a different way and unlock some things, there's a bed with some willing women on it.
Yes.
And we gotta do what we do as men.
Yes.
Because Tiffy, you played it, and now I've never asked this.
But before we go into it, because I'm still in 4 and I have not played 5, and I've avoided all spoilers. So just to give you,
I think you've already mentioned the scene we're talking about. I think it was in like 2 or 3. Like this was when before he had facial hair. You know what I'm saying? Before
I think it was 2. I think it was God of War.
I think it was 2. Yeah, I think it was 2. It was still on PlayStation 2, I think, or PlayStation 3, where he goes into the room with the 2 women, and you hear. It's not like now. Here's why I bring this up, because it's not just a scene. There are scenes that have sex. If you watch The Witcher, when I play Witcher, there are sex scenes with nudity, full on, like the whole stroke, everything. You know what I mean? They don't show the genitals, but they show the tops and they show the thrusting and they show all of that. But it's just a scene. You could skip it. in God of War, you actually have to push the buttons. Like you have to like hit the
That
X
man
button.
has to rock. It has
Wait,
to rock to a certain.
Tommy
Yes, yeah.
said clapping cheeks as a power boost is wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have acquired the cleat chat, the cleat, I can't say cleat chat, cleat chat, cheek clap, the cleat chat, cheek. You know what?
Man, dang.
But-
Back around.
but funny enough though, as we talk about all this stuff, so that's why I'm a little I don't want to say upset, but I'm sad that Nolly couldn't be here because she made a character that's just supposed to be Tiffy.
I don't think it's supposed to be me. I think that she just put face buns on it.
I don't. Hold on now, Tiffy. I know you don't want to lay claim, and maybe you don't necessarily like the depiction. Who knows? But the name of the character, I don't know. The character, I think she called her Tiffy. What was the name? What was the name of the character again?
For the character, what?
Nolly said she named the character. Nolly, where are you on the day? Hurry up. Tiffy O'Dango Buns.
Oh,
No, that's not the name of the character. She was talking about the buns.
Oh,
that's not the name of the
okay.
character.
Is that what it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that doesn't mean that's not what she named the character. You silly man.
Okay, I'm just saying that you seem like you may have been the inspiration for our fictional character.
Yeah, the space buns.
Okay. She named the buns.
That is the reason why I'm like, oh, I'll pick up this game off of that strength alone. Every game that has a create a character, I look for a space bun option, and sometimes they exist, but rarely are they any good. There needs to be a space bun revolution, clearly, because, and I say this as someone not currently wearing space buns, but you know the space buns live in my heart. You know who I am. You know who I am.
Well, look, man, you passed that torch over to Bad Time, man. He got the space buns too.
As long as space buns are represented.
That's it.
Like
the new delegate. That is the new delegate for the Space Bun Committee. Yeah, we approve. We approve.
What's our gang sign?
Oh man, see,
I think it's something like it gotta be something like that. It gotta be.
Can we start here and go out?
Yeah, we gotta just.
Hey yo.
That was me attempting a crip walk, but it was
we got it. We gotta get it. We gonna get it. There's something in there. It's there.
I'm sorry.
It's there.
You wait till I pull up a mine, bro. Y'all gonna be like, oh shit.
It's gotta be something.
You've been holding out on us this whole time. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. I couldn't do so you can actually play Final Fantasy, is what you're saying, Bad Time.
Yeah. I haven't played role-playing games in a while, to be honest with you, just for the reason that you said. It takes away too much of your life. Like, I mean, it like for me to invest in any role-playing game at this point, I could not be married with children. It takes a level of dedication. And I mean, to this day, I have still not beaten Skyrim, and I think I've probably invested 3 years in it. And have never beat it. And I just gave up one day. I was like, all right, I've killed enough dragons. I've been everywhere. I've almost got complete. I can't do it. I just can't do it. So at this point, they're not for me. But I was very excited when I saw the level of detail that you're able to access in a game like Baldur's Gate. It seems awesome. Okay. I know Nolly's probably having a blast right now. Apparently you can have sex with bears.
Yo, that's what she's having a blast.
I don't know. I'm just saying that's just an option if you're into that type of thing. So
bears that are animals, right?
Hey, look. Listen, in role playing, nothing that's not on the table, and there's nothing off the table in a role playing game. You are, once you invest your life into that, you start really getting in. You're like, hey, it's a fairy. She's kind of cute. I mean,
a fairy is different from a berry.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
definitely
not gonna say that. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead, Ty. My bad.
No. That was it, man. I don't have any more to add to that. That was just...
So if you was on Baldur's Gate, would you fuck the? Let me stop.
Oh, would I smash a bear? Listen, I think we've had enough conversations on this show to know that I'm pretty much open to most. If I'm having sex with aliens, I don't know what their genetic makeup is looking like or whatnot, but I'm willing to try it.
Wait, so Tommy said you can shapeshift into a bear too if that's your class. So does that mean like that's the wait? So do you fuck the bear as a human or a bear? Because that's different. If I am also a bear, then who else am I supposed to fuck?
Yeah,
not another bear.
Is it like only bear on bear? Like, because that's like my category. Let me stop.
Oh, well. I take a quote.
Please come back.
Tiffy, you know how you're expressive, and we can kind of tell when you're like having a thought. Sometimes we had that same thing with Steph, because the less of her face you see, the least interested she is in the sunlight. When Steph gets to when she gets to like the right here, I think we've lost.
Like one more comment and she's disappearing. That's
that internet connection. That was me and the poop talk the other week with the peanut butter.
Oh Lord,
that was my.
It's okay, Steph. I know we're not actually going to do these things. Obviously, I know she.
Well, I'm so sorry. I'm not the one that brought it up, but that's important context. If you were talking about having intercourse with a bear, am I also a bear? That's important. I don't want no part of it. If I'm also a bear, what other choice do I have? Who else am I supposed to copulate if not another bear?
Come on, Ty. What's up?
I just want to applaud Tiffy for her consistency, because one thing about Tiffy is we had this conversation in regards to the scrolls, and she made it very clear that although one can change their body makeup, the whole remains the same. So if that theory is still appropriate here, then I second bear sex.
Oh my God! All right.
Just
the
saying.
Line was here, and that foot just went over to this line. So we will segue out of it. We will segue out of it, and maybe we can get maybe half a Steph's face. But I love that. I love that she gives us her safe word is like, nah, I don't want no parts of this.
We lost Steffi.
Whoa.
We lost Steffi.
So anyway. Moving right along. The next thing I wanted to talk. Well, honestly, I don't know. I don't know how bear sex. I can't. You got me thinking about Man Bear Pig from South Park. Remember Man Bear Pig? Hey, everybody! I've seen Man Bear Pig, and I could tell that. All right. I guess you had to be there. I know somebody who's all about bear stuff. Oh man, that'd be funny if I brought yes right in on it, and she'd be like, dude,
hold up, what are we talking about here?
Here we go. Watch the segue. Speaking of bear sex, what's up, Yaz?
Bear sex? What's going on in the woods? I'm out.
Yes, because the first thing I think of when let me stop.
You got video of this bear sex?
Yes. Never mind.
Go ahead, Tiffy. Let me have it.
Peter's coming for us.
Yes. Would you have sex with a bear?
No.
Would you have sex with a bear if you were also a bear?
Maybe.
Wait a minute. If you were a bear, what would you have sex with?
It's the woods. You can have sex with whatever you want.
You would have sex with the woods before one of your own species?
We would have to see, because like they make bears in different sizes, so we would have to see what kind of size bear that coming in my neck of the woods. But I don't need to be a stretched out bear. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. A bear with like all of. What if your man was also a bear? Would you have sex with that bear?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Tiffy, here's the key. The bear got to be a polar bear. For yes.
I'm out.
We fuck with the black bears in my neighborhood, and I'll just mess with you. It's good to see you. Yes. Oh man, we've talked about a lot, man. Yes, we've talked about the Riverfront. We've talked about Drake being having AfroPuffs. We've talked about a whole slew of stuff. We even talked about excuse me, Octavia Spencer chiming in on Britney Spears relationship. But we're only a few minutes away from ending the show. And here's something. This subject's a little difficult to crunch because I know we're amidst the strike right now, so we don't want to like promote any content, especially if it's going to take the place of writers. But I did think it at least was worth mentioning, since it is a headline, that it looks like Disney may finally have gotten the message and maybe finally willing to part ways with some of the lackluster content that's been put over their Disney Plus streaming service over the last few years. Now, we don't have to mention the actual projects and talk about the actors or the productions themselves, but just in terms of actually this as a news story. I'm curious. I'm going to put this back up real quick. And I just want y'all to just do me a favor. We're going to play this game. We've played this before. Give me a thumbs up if you think this is good. Thumbs down if you think it's bad. Or give me a meh in the middle if you really have no opinion or could care less. I'm going to take this down in 3, 2, 1. Oh, man. Okay, we got a man. We got 3 thumbs down. We got Tiffy in the middle. Yeah, okay. Me and Yaz on the same page. That's my sis. But I see 2 thumbs down for Steph. Steph, what's up with the thumbs down?
Why would we want less Marvel content? Why is that a good thing? Like, it's not like the streaming service is going to run out of space. Like, there's not room to just keep it all up there. Give me everything. I get mad when they take off anything I want to watch. Keep it all up forever. You have the space to.
First of all, the new name is off off glass. Loving it. But good point. We'll go around the horn before I give my opinion on that. Ty, why do you think why thumbs down for you, homeboy?
As much as I want to answer that, man, you got a minute.
I got a minute? No, I got 10 minutes. I got 9 minutes.
Oh, okay.
No, we started at 10.
All right, cool. In that case, I'm only saying it's bad because I'm afraid of which items they decide to take off. It's like we haven't seen Ironheart yet, which I was a little excited to see Riri, and I feel like she might make the chopping block. And you know what I'm saying it. And when it comes to projects like Punisher and Daredevil and stuff like that, I just don't know where they fall on the side of the chopping block. So if you're chopping up these items, then I have a problem. If you're chopping up stuff that we've already seen, that we've already kind of, said that that's trash, cool, get rid of that. Secret Invasion, first on the chopping block. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just curious and careful as far as like supporting this, because I don't know what they're gonna chop, and it could be something that we actually enjoy.
Okay, all right. Now Tiffy, you seem to be a little indifferent. Not exciting, not a big deal, nothing changing.
I just have not before this moment really paid much attention to it, so I hadn't formed an opinion. I guess my thing is, why, looking at it now, it's just like, is this a way for them to try to avoid paying those involved in the production of it, the actors, the writers, the production crew? Because for what reason are you taking it off? It's not available anywhere else. Why are we scrubbing the existence of these projects? Even if it's something that's not so great, I still haven't finished the first episode of Secret Invasion. I didn't necessarily connect with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I know people liked it. I personally it wasn't great for me. She-Hulk could go, but why should any of those shows go?
Okay.
For the fans that do enjoy them, because you're running out of space on the Disney Plus thing. I don't think that's true. And it just seems like another way for them to not pay the people that deserve to be paid. If we're taking a look at, we want transparency from the studios as far as what their streaming numbers are, and we want the people involved in those projects to be paid accordingly, and that's why they're hiding that. Don't start deleting projects now to try to
Mhm.
avoid paying people. Like, you guys keep being shady about shit. You find new ways to be shady, and this feels a little bit like that.
Okay. All right. That's a good point. Good point. Yaz, what you think? What I saw your thumb was up. What's up?
I don't know. It's just like it's a good and a bad thing because I mean, obviously we're gonna end up finding it somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like eventually somewhere some other streaming service is gonna monetize on it and be like, oh hey, you know, since they're not showing it anywhere else, I'm gonna, you know, try and show it on mine. But I think it'll kind of help because if we're growing into a new age of Marvel, we have to get away from Disney in order to, you know what I'm saying, like in order to grow, technically speaking. So I feel like this is might be a good thing, you know, just for future content. But you know, as for them trying to, you know, take the Trump way out and you know, just skirt around things and not, you know, pay their people for the work that they've done, you know, because it's streaming on there. I feel like it's wrong. It's just like it's an artist with their song. If they made the song, they should get the royalties if it's you know played. Same thing with movies. All the people in production who were involved in that, they should all get paid for that.
Oof. Good points. And let me just say this real quick. I love us, and I love that we have such caring individuals for the little guy, as some would describe them, the people who don't get all the recognition. So please continue to keep that energy and to feed that also into the airwaves. And sometimes I need to hear that stuff too because I'm so like production oriented. But let me give this quick and we're running out of time, so I'm gonna try to make this quick. Let me just kind of read what the article says. It definitely seems like series such as underperforming yet pricey Samuel L. Jackson, Secret Invasion have kickstarted more drastic measures despite several Marvel television home runs like Loki, Moon Knight, WandaVision. The road for upcoming shows like Agatha, Echo, Daredevil, and Riri Williams might be less bright compared to before. And here's what it says. Hollywood Insider reported that MCU content, there's on MCU content bloat. All right, that's being felt by both Marvel fan audiences, indicating that both Iger and Feige are well aware of this trend. In fact, they are ready to take steps to rectify this. It seems that fans should be ready to say goodbye to the 6-episode, $200 million budget Disney shows. And I think everybody here is right, honestly. There's no wrong answer. The reason I said thumbs up is because I feel like Disney significantly watered down Marvel's content. I think that some of our best Disney content came on Netflix. I hate to say it, and fuck you, Netflix. Pay everybody. I'm not trying to promote you, but the Daredevil and the Punisher shows, and Luke Cage specifically. Shout out to Ms. Mustafa who will be with us next week. Those shows I feel are a second to none that are on Disney right now. They're bloody. They speak. They use the N-word, which I know we don't glorify, but I like the real grits. Like, I like it when a show feels real. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that you use the N-word. I'm not trying to say you should, but when you're in Harlem and you're doing a show about a black superhero and they don't speak like, you know, like the black people in the actual hood, then it takes away from the reality. We're not going to see that on Disney Plus because Disney's family oriented, in my opinion. And even though there's been talks about, oh yeah, they're going to put Deadpool on it, they're going to have R-rated. It's like, it feels like a toss and turn thing for Disney. So I would much rather see it outsourced the way it was before. When we would go to a Hulu or go to FX to see Legion, but we'd go to Hulu to see Runaways or go to Freeform to see Cloak and Dagger, and then go to Netflix to see all of the Defenders. I think that content gave more promise. It wasn't watered down. It wasn't 6 episodes with the big bang somebody who's supposed to carry the whole crowd as a draw. And that's why I support the breakup. Now, if it does mean that people don't get paid, then fuck you. Figure out a way to make that shit work. But I'm definitely cool with anything that's going to make better content. And I think we can all agree on that. We all just want the best shit, right?
Quality over quantity.
Well, look, man, how far we've come. Oh, man, we started off as just one lone ranger here, man, and then the whole Ninja Turtle squad pulled on up, man. Let me stop. I shouldn't have said that because nobody on here is, you know what? I'm overthinking. We're gonna go ahead and move on, but I want y'all to make sure you all continue to follow, like, share. Go to Yaz's page, go to Tiffy's page, go to Word Nerd Steph and Bad Tie Bricks. Give us all follows, like, share, comment, and do not be afraid to reach out and say what's happening. And as for y'all, please be your authentic selves out there as we wrap this up, and don't be shy because next week, like I said, we're gonna have my man Mustafa on. I think I got a picture of him right here. Here he is on the right hand side. You see him in Luke Cage. You seen him in Cowboy Bebop. He will be joining us next week to talk about his album, and we're hoping that he also is going to be his authentic self, as you should be your authentic self, y'all. Because if you ain't, you being fake. And in all things, if you a geek, whether you a bear or a freak,
whether you're a freak bear.
I love the new blurred order. You should too.
Let me get all this 10p